February 2021, a single winter storm shut down most of the U.S. petrochemical system. Winter Storm Uri drove temperatures below zero, conditions far beyond what Texas infrastructure was built to withstand. More than 9.9 million people lose power, roughly 300 deaths, and over 30 billion in damages. Cold temperatures push electricity demand to record levels. At the same time, supply collapses. Controlled rolling blackouts were required to prevent total grid collapse. This is not a single failure. Gas supply fails first, falling by about 45%. Power generation follows, and within hours, the industrial system begins shutting down. The U.S. Gulf Coast is the center of global petrochemical production. What happens here ripples through supply chains worldwide. Petrochemical plants require constant inputs: electricity, natural gas, and high-temperature heat. Uri removes all three at the same time. Within days of winter storm, Uri, ethylene, the backbone of the system, collapses. 75% offline. The system loses its core building block. Over 50% of propylene supply also impacted. And once these two massive volume monomers start to shut, the dominoes begin to fall, including the polyethylene and polypropylene packaging system that our supply chains heavily depend on. Soon more force majeure letters follow. Epichlorohydrin for epoxy resins, tert-butyl alcohol for MTBE, and tert-butyl hydroperoxide, butadiene for synthetic rubber, all rise to the top of the percent of capacity out in the first few days of Winter Storm Uri. By March 1st, the entire U.S. petrochemical industry is in chaos. Polycarbonate plastic for car headlights, propylene oxide, and toluene diisocyanate to make polyurethanes, such as the foam cushion in your car seat, join the top of the list for U.S. capacity impacted. A few weeks later, in comes propylene glycol, which makes polyester resins used in making fiberglass, acrylonitrile, which makes ABS plastics and carbon fiber, methyl methacrylate for PMMA plexiglass plastics and car taillights, butyraldehyde for 2-ethylhexanol or N-butanol production to make butyl acrylate for paints and coatings. By the end of March, panic starts to set in with the PVC plastics chain involving vinyl chloride monomer, ethylene dichloride, caustic soda, and chlorine. While the capacity percent out is alarming, the sheer volume is even more important. By the first week of April, acrylic acid, which is used to make superabsorbent polymers for things such as diapers, start to make the headlines of supply constraints. Caprolactam for nylon 6 used in textiles and under-the-hood automotive applications also drags on. By mid-May, the surfactants and detergents segment start to become a concern with limited linear alcohol production. However, a large portion of capacity is being restored outside of the polyurethane, PVC, butadiene, acrylonitrile, and polycarbonate segments. By July, roughly 5 months later, the polyurethane sector and PVC sectors are the unfortunate ones to remain down longer than most. Winter Storm Uri did not just shut down plants. It exposed a structural vulnerability, where the months of January through February pose as much, if not more of a risk, than hurricane season, which is June through November. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn more about petrochemicals and geopolitics, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.